So are you not happy with the way that President Biden is running the country?
What happened in Afghanistan is treason. All of those weapons that were taken, $850 billion worth of it, is now going to be used against the state of Israel. It's one of our last allies in that area. I'm a military guy. I have killed people. I've had my friends killed. And Americans sit here and just go, oh, what's on YouTube tonight? Or what's on television? And we sit here with a sanitized, sterilized education. So I sit in this room here, and you can look around. These, I call this the fishbowl, but these are my heroes here, the people that stood up.
You have Albert Einstein, Martin
Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Nez Perce, Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce Indians. These guys stood up. They got cut down also. So I refuse to be cut down. You can come in. People have tried to kill me before. I don't really care. In Vietnam,
you're not worried about that? You're not worried
Vietnam,
about
I went down 3 times. They couldn't kill me there. So I'm just speaking out. And this is the time now. Because I think some people, about probably 2 out of 10, 20%, realize that something's wrong in America. And I'm a student of Karl Marx, 1848. He and Engels wrote a book called The Communist Manifesto. The last line in the Communist Manifesto is the abolition of property. No private property. Everything is owned by the state. And the way they get you through that is by inflation and taxation. They're both taxes. So Biden just raised the taxes on doctors, I think 20%. I think that's kind of funny. But now 50% of a doctor's income goes to taxes. And a capitalist like me pays no taxes. Trump pays no taxes. And it angers people. Instead of saying, well, how do you guys do that? I mean, how can I sit here talking to you and tell people I don't pay taxes? How come I'm not taken off to jail?
Yeah, aren't you a greedy, rich, horrible human being for not paying taxes?
I like my money. I don't want those communists in Washington, D.C. to take my money. I don't like them taking my money. I don't like being manipulated by the government, which is Marxist.
But is it you that's doing something wrong? I mean, you're not doing anything illegal. The tax code
Would I be telling you I don't pay taxes if I was a criminal?
I went to law school, obviously, because when my parents found out that I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor, they were like, you have to at least become an attorney. And
did they teach you about tax?
They did. Well, kind of.
How to not pay tax?
Not really.
Okay, that's what they didn't teach you that
but
either.
I did read your book before going into law school. So I tried to focus my law on business and tax law. And my tax professor, very interesting, before the first day of class, sent out an article about how rich people legally evade taxes.
There's a difference between evade and avoid, isn't there?
Yeah, and it was very interesting.
What's the difference between evade and avoid as an attorney?
Well, avoid, you're doing it legally. Evade, you're doing something wrong.
Yes. What I do is I avoid, I don't evade. Corporate law comes out of Amsterdam. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't teach you that stuff. They teach you American, but not international law.
And we're going into a global economy more and more every single day. And going back to the topic of student loans, though, because the thing that I've wanted to mention that I thought was so interesting was that the biggest liability for so many Americans nowadays are student loans.
Yeah.
But you said the biggest asset for the United States government are student loans.
Yes.
How does that make any sense that so many people are drowning in debt? They can't save money, or they can't invest money, or they can't build wealth because of this liability that is making the government richer.
Corporate law comes out of Amsterdam. And in 1930, the Frankfurt School out of Berlin moved to Columbia University, the Teachers College. And that went into our educational system. Today it's called postmodernist education. Postmodernist education is based on opinion and emotion. STEM, science, technology, education, engineering, and math is out. So it's just based upon emotion and opinion. So here I'm quoting you history, and I'm telling you the law, but people get all emotional and reactionary and call me a crook, a capitalist, and all that. Well, that's what our schools are teaching us. That's why I hate to say this. Most school teachers are Marxist, but they never studied history. They don't know what they're teaching. So in 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. What does that mean? We could print as much money as we could. That meant the only way the economy could expand was through debt and taxes. Okay, if you understand that, so that's why when the American consumer got racked up with debt and the U.S. government is racked up in debt, the next person that wanted the money were the teachers' unions. And so that's why Obama passed that student loan stuff. And now our young people are strapped in debt because that's the only way the economy can expand is through debt. So we screw our young people, then they accuse people like me of being a conspiracy theorist. But I studied history.
In one of your recent books, Fake, you inspired me to pull out a $100 bill because you said that on money, it says, in God we trust.
Right.
But this money wasn't created by God. This paper money was invented by the government.
Correct.
So why are we throwing God around to try to get people to believe this money?
Well, number one, Marx was anti-Christian, if you study his works. And so that's when you look at history, I'm not saying it's my opinion of him. I read his work. So when you study that stuff, and Americans are so gullible that if Jesus said it, it must be true. I said, well, I don't know about Jesus. I don't remember him saying that. But anyway, I mean, I was raised Christian. I don't go to church anymore. I believe in God and all this stuff. I respect all religions. That's what it is. You know, you want to be a Hindu, Muslim, Jew, whatever you want. It's up to you. It's a free country. So I don't get into that stuff. But in 1964, it didn't say in God we trust.
Really?
It said a silver certificate. Oh, you're full of shit, Kiyosaki. Well, check history, assholes. You know, in 1964, the dollar was a silver certificate. Meant it was backed by silver.
So now this in God we trust money, paper money, can now be printed on command by the Federal Reserve Bank. And
If you understand history, the reason I pay no taxes is because I borrow money. I'm a debtor. The only way the economy, and check this out. I mean, all you communists out there, check this stuff out. I am a billionaire in debt. You know why? Because I get tax breaks for borrowing money. And the reason I am so rich is because I'm in debt. And my friend Dave Ramsey says, live debt free. I'm going, well, you're an idiot. I mean, he's my friend, but I say, Dave, I like debt. He says, I know, but most people can't handle debt. I said, I agree. But that's why there's no financial education in schools, because if you knew how to handle debt, you wouldn't save that crappy dollar you have in your hand. I'd rather borrow the money tax-free.
And then do what with it?
Huh?
And then do what with it?
I have to invest it to make more money. Everybody thinks it's real estate, stocks. You know, when I talk to most idiots out there, they go, oh, I have a 401k. I go, well, you've been sold a bill of goods, sweetheart. The government sponsors this 401k. I said, no, the Federal Reserve and Wall Street sponsors it. If you study history, in 1974, there was an act called the ERISA Act, Employee Retirement Income Security Act. That led to a thing called the 401k. And that was in 1974, just after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and then the economy could boom through the stock market. So do I own any stocks? No, because I'm not a communist.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this shorter clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And if you're interested in learning more about how to invest your money in the stock market, our team put together an amazing guide that will walk you through how to invest your money in the stock market. This guide is completely free when you sign up for our daily newsletter. So if you want to read this guide, all you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.